You know that person who always cancels plans? Not dramatically. Not with excuses. Just a calm, polite, "Hey, can we do this another day?" Yeah, that person isn't flaky. They're not antisocial. And no, they're not boring. If the idea of a perfect night sounds less like going out, and more like pajamas, a blanket, and absolutely no obligations, you're not weird. You're just wired differently. Some people recharge around noise, movement, and people. Others recharge when the world finally quiets down. And today we're breaking down the psychology of people who genuinely love staying home, the ones society side-eyes, but psychology understands very well. If this already feels familiar, stay right here. This video is probably about you. Here's the thing. Loving to stay home isn't really about being introverted or extroverted. It's about how much stimulation your brain can handle before it starts asking for peace. Some people feel alive with noise. Music playing, phones buzzing, people talking over each other. That kind of chaos actually gives them energy. But for others, too much stimulation doesn't excite them. It exhausts them. Every conversation, every background noise, every quick plan that turns into 3 hours. Their brain starts running too many tabs at once. And when that happens, the only place that closes those tabs is home. Because home has fewer inputs, less noise, less performance, less explaining yourself. And no, that's not being dramatic. It's your nervous system saying, "Okay, that's enough for today." And this is why your battery drops faster than other people's. You're not weak. You're not antisocial. You're just wired to feel better with less going on, not more. And once you understand that, a lot of your choices suddenly make sense. But that's not the whole story. Because staying home isn't just about avoiding noise. It's also about control. Here's where it really clicks. When you're out in the world, almost nothing is under your control. The noise, the lighting, the temperature, the people, the small talk you didn't ask for. Even fun plans come with rules. You have to show up, react, smile, engage. And that constant adjustment costs energy. But at home, you control everything. The lights can be softer. The room can be quiet. The phone can stay face down. You don't have to explain why you're quiet. You're just quiet. And for people who love staying home, that control isn't about comfort. It's about safety. Not hiding from the world's safety, but nervous system safety. At home, your body finally stops bracing itself. Your shoulders drop. Your breathing slows. You don't feel like you're being watched or evaluated. You're not on. And here's the funny part. You don't actually do more at home. You just feel less tense doing nothing. Your couch isn't furniture. It's emotional regulation. And this explains why you feel better the moment you walk through the door. But staying home isn't just about avoiding discomfort. Backhand index pointing right, it's also where something important happens quietly. A lot of people think staying home means you don't like people. That's not it. Most people who prefer staying home don't hate connection. They hate constant micro-interactions. The small talk, the polite smiles, the repeated "so, how's work?" The conversations that don't really go anywhere, but somehow still cost energy. Each one feels small, but they add up. By the end of the day, it's not that you're tired of people. You're tired of performing. For people like this, socializing isn't hard because it's emotional. It's hard because it's mentally noisy. You're listening, responding, adjusting your tone, reading the room. And even when nothing goes wrong, your brain is working the entire time. That's why home feels so good. At home, there's no script, no reaction required, no background role to play. You don't disappear. You just finally get to rest your attention. And this is where staying home starts to feel less like avoidance and more like relief. People who love staying home usually don't need big events to feel good. They care about small rituals. The same mug every morning, that exact spot on the couch, the blanket that somehow makes everything feel quieter, the routine that looks boring from the outside, but feels grounding on the inside. These aren't habits by accident. They're anchors. When life feels unpredictable, rituals create a sense of order without effort. You don't have to decide. You don't have to impress. You just repeat something that already feels safe. And that repetition isn't dull. It's calming. For these people, excitement isn't loud. It's familiar. They don't chase stimulation. They choose consistency. That's why staying home doesn't feel empty. It feels full, just quietly full. And the funny thing is, Most people walk past these moments without noticing them. But for someone who loves staying home, these small details are where comfort lives. Backhand index pointing right. And this is also why being alone doesn't automatically feel lonely. For people who love staying home, silence isn't empty. It's active. When there's less noise around them, their mind starts doing what it does best. Connecting ideas, replaying moments, imagining possibilities. That's why so many creative thoughts show up. When you're alone on the couch, late at night, with no one asking anything from you. Staying home gives the mind room to wander. Without being interrupted. You're not distracted by conversations. You're not reacting to the room. You're not managing anyone else's energy. Your attention turns inward. And that's where problem-solving happens. That's where reflection happens. That's where ideas quietly come together. This is why people like this often feel more themselves. When they're alone. Not because they dislike others, but because their inner world finally has space to breathe. For them, staying home isn't about escaping life. It's about processing it. And that difference matters more than people think. Not everyone stays home for the same reason. For some people, staying home is a choice that restores them. They go out, they connect, they live, and then they come back home to recharge. But for others, staying home slowly turns into avoidance. The difference isn't where you are. It's how you feel. If staying home makes you feel calmer, clearer, more like yourself, that's rest. But if staying home feels heavy, numbing, or lonely, that's something else. One brings peace. The other quietly takes energy away. And this isn't about judging yourself. It's about noticing. Do you choose home because it fills you up? Or because facing the outside world feels overwhelming right now? That awareness matters. Because loving to stay home can be healthy, grounding, and intentional. But when it turns into hiding, it's usually a sign that something deeper needs care. And recognizing that difference is already a step in the right direction. For people who truly love staying home, this isn't about fear or missing out. It's about knowing what actually makes them feel okay. They don't need constant movement to feel alive. They don't need an audience to feel fulfilled. They don't chase experiences just to prove they're living. They find meaning in small, quiet moments. The routines, the stillness, the familiar spaces. Where nothing is demanded from them. They don't perform happiness. They experience it. And that's something a lot of people never learn how to do. So if you're someone who turns down invitations without guilt, who enjoys a slow weekend alone, who feels genuinely better after staying in, you're not broken. You're not boring. You're just wired for peace over noise. If this video felt familiar, you're probably not alone here. And if you want more psychology that helps you understand yourself, without labels or judgment, you know what to do. Stay curious. Stay comfortable. And we'll see you in the next one.